now this probably is unpopular take here, uh, and I see the arguments for why. But I think that one of the most underrated coaches that Auburn has had is Gene Chizik. I thought he was a better coach than what people gave him credit for.
Well, of course, he didn't have a great ending to his career, which led to Gus Malzahn. So Gene Chizik's last team went what? Would they go 3-9, 0-8 in the SEC?
Mm-hmm.
So then people look at how great Cam Newton is and just figure that Auburn went to a national championship because of Cam Newton and not because of Gene Chizik. But man, I don't think a quarterback can win all those games in the SEC and win a national championship without a head coach. And they didn't have a great team other than Cam Newton. They obviously had a good team, but not a great one.
But that next season after that, look at it. People don't take into account all that he lost off that team. And I mean, I'm not making excuses for his record, but even if he would have had a subpar year where it was a little bit underwhelming, you know, I mean, he lost a lot off that team. But I mean, I think they never should have fired him. I thought they should have given him another year or two to kind of get things together. And then if, nothing he didn't produce, then yeah, they had a little bit of a right to move on from him.
So his first year, sorry, Hunter, help me out here. His first year was the year before the national championship season, right? Would have been 2009.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2009, then he wins the national championship. Then they go like 8-5 and they beat, I think, Northwestern in a bowl game, but they only played like in the Outback Bowl. They went like 8-5 and then he had the disastrous year and then he's out. So he's winning that national championship with kind of half his team and half Tommy Tuberville's team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I see the argument as to why, it might be a little off. But I just think that they didn't give him enough time to really rebound off of that year and see because look at what they've done since. I mean, they haven't really done a whole lot since then.
They haven't gone 3-9 though. 3-9 at Auburn is a slap in the 0-8 in the SEC. That's.
I mean, it can't be Arkansas or Kentucky. That's pretty. And those years they were, Kentucky's decent today. I mean, those years they were horrible.
Oh yeah, they were horrible.
In Arkansas,
you talk about recruiting. Yeah. Joker Phillips and those guys were recruiting like in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I've heard him a lot in interviews and him on TV. Doing stuff with the SEC, and part of me just likes the guy. I mean, I like him as a human being.
Yeah, I like him too.
So that might be why I'm a little partial on that side of that. But
Hunter, Auburn over the last 20 years, I don't know if there's anybody in college football that's been on the roller coaster ride that Auburn's been on, and I think they're very unique. Tommy Tuberville, you talk about somebody that was underrated. I think Tommy Tuberville was underrated. He could have a national championship, and people would know his name now that don't if he had a national championship. And he had really good years at Auburn, and as you well know, beat Alabama 6 consecutive years. But they have an undefeated team in 2004. They, win a national championship in 2010. Who else wins a national championship and is 3-9 the next 2 years later, and then goes from 3-9, 0-8 in the SEC, and is within seconds of winning another national championship the next year? They just had a very odd run.
Yeah, I don't understand why they haven't landed an elite coach, um, I don't know. Is it that is it because of Bama? I mean, I don't know. I won't. This is what I always tell everybody. I'm a huge Alabama fan, but I want Auburn to be good until the Iron Bowl. I want them to destroy everybody until the Iron Bowl
Sure.
because then it makes the Iron Bowl even much better. But I would like to see Auburn, be competitive. I mean, they are even in Alabama. I mean, look at last year's game. I mean, you can't never. I mean, Auburn can have a horrible record that year, and they will give Alabama fit. In that game, or that's just how that rivalry game goes. But yeah, I had wondered the same thing. Why? I mean, why do they settle for Brian Harsin? Um, I felt like they could have gotten somebody a little bit with a little bit better resume.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, this is a top 15 program in the country that has shown that just in the last decade, how many teams have won a national championship and been within seconds of winning a second? That puts them right below, not right below, but you know what I mean, in a tier below Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson. If you go the next tier and all you're not talking about winning percentage or winning conference championships, just did you show the ability as a program to get to the top? They're above Notre Dame, Penn State, Oregon, USC, all of them. Just they got to the pinnacle twice in the last 10 or 11 years.